exciting albums I brought back into my collection. Some of these albums are thanks to a VC member that really, was very generous. He had just recently got a large collection. We'll talk about that when I come to them. Others are ones that were very important to me. Some almost kind of grails. I just hate to use the word grails because what does that really mean? But they're really some neat albums. So let's show you what I brought back in. They mean something to me. Again, I'm trying to limit the selection, my collection. It's just more things that mean a lot. They may not even be the best albums from a particular artist, but they're the ones that make me happy. And that's what a collection's about. It's what makes you happy, what makes you smile, what makes you want to play the music. The first one, this is the one that I had. This is, let's see, hold on. Yeah. Making sure I give you the right one because it actually looks pretty good. And no, this is it. This survived the flood. Can you believe that? Look how good that looks. Isn't that amazing? And it actually, it's not too bad. Of all things, you can see here it's really crinkled up, and I don't have any of the inserts, Dead Milkman, Big Lizard in my backyard because it's a bitchin' Camaro. Best song in the whole wide world. But the album cover, it is a little kind of beat. But it's, considering how everything had to be, tossed or thrown because it was ruined, it's really crazy how clean this one came out. But I was able to. My friend Bill Young had this and sold this to me. So here we go. This is another original press, but this one does have the all-important insert. Now, these inserts came in two ways. One of them was a fold-out, and the other one was the sheet that has all the lyrics of everything that you ever wanted to sing from the Dead Milkman. Those of you that like your 80s punk, kind of a pop punk almost, this is the one. Lots of short songs. Some of them are, shall we say, probably not politically correct anymore, but fun stuff. So happy. So that one's still not bad, but this one's great. That one's great. Another very important album. This is an original. Look at that. It's $3.95. XTC, and it's Oranges and Lemons. This is the first XTC album I ever got. I remember reading about it on Rolling Stone. I saw this artwork and said, boy, that really sounded interesting. And there's my original vinyl, so I still have that. And so I bought this, and this is what XTC was. This was the one. I go, this is just amazing how they put all this together in this Beatle-esque feel. Then I learned more about XTC. I learned, Dear God, and, English Settlement. And I went back and began to buy their stuff. But it was hard at first because this was what XTC was all about to me. So, I've been looking for, well, look at that. Someone paid only $3.95. I paid more than $3.95 though. One of the channels today just said, "Hey, well, I found this at a thrift store for $3." Damn it! Really? Wow. But XTC. Then we have one of the most important albums to me. Jesus and Mary Chang's Psycho Candy. My God, this is so good. This has Just Like Sugar on here. Just like sugar, just like honey. And kind of the beginning of really the shoegaze movement, bringing awareness to it. And when you peel them back, you listen, and there's some really good pop songs going on between all the noise, and just really happy to get that reissue. Now, Mark, MAD4VINYL. MAD4VINYL is the name of the channel. And it's an excellent channel. Mark is knowledgeable in everything from classical to rock. He's really big into. He plays piano. He plays other instruments. He's extremely knowledgeable. He had bought a collection, and he watched some of my old videos and learned about the flood and says, "Listen, if there's something here you'd like, let me know. Well, I looked and I didn't, I just, okay, I'll ask for a couple. And I didn't want them to be, super expensive, and only if you had doubles. Well, they kept, and we talked on the phone, and it was just the greatest conversation. Whenever I think, when we can converse with each other within the VC, it's exciting to me because it's not even just about music. I learned everything, other things, and we had a lot of things in common. But it wound up that I was just asking for a couple albums, and there's 20 of them. And so here's some of the ones that I already have, and kind of what I asked for at first, and that he supplied. And I got some new ones I'll be showing you as we go along in my Sunday morning things. The first one's Fleetwood Mac Rumors. I no longer had it. 76. I was a teenager. I mean, it was this was the radio. This was the, I mean, all they played was music from Fleetwood Mac Rumors back in 76 on AM radio. I didn't have it. And, there's 1 billion of these out there. That. They've made 1 billion of these, and yet the prices keep going up. How can that be? Supply and demand? How much supply is there, and how much demand? Does everyone want 10 copies of it? I don't know. But Mark gave me this, and it's sealed. Sealed. I was kind of blown away by that. When I went up, the first albums really I ever got was from Columbia Record Club. And one of them I ordered was Stevie Wonder's Talking Book. I knew Stevie Wonder, and I knew him from on here, You Are the Sunshine of My Life. That's the song I knew, but I knew nothing else about it. And so when I brought this in, and it was just one of those albums that, as a young boy in little rural Nebraska, I heard this, and wow. I mean, it blew me away. Very superstitious. Big Brother, You've Got It Bad Girl. I Believe When I Fall in Love with You Will Be Forever. That song's one of the most beautiful songs that I know. This was, and I hadn't seen this. I hadn't been able to find this. And Mark showed it and go, man, it was one that I said, I'm interested in only if you have doubles of this. And you know what? I know some of these he didn't have doubles, and he sent them to me, and really amazing. But one of the very first record albums I ever had. The other one, again, when I got that one from Columbia Record Club, I got in Innervations. And this thing, the funk started. The funk really took off on here. Incredible. Just enough for the city. Living for the city. Higher grounds on here. All in love is fair. Man, talk about not being able to talk. He's Mr. Know-It-All. The song Living for the City. They had in the middle of it on the album, they start to talk. And it's, like someone gets arrested. I knew that this was not my world. And that was the kind of thing, wow, what the heck is going on? And it was eye-opening. It was. And he's just like, that guy, he went to the city, and this is what happened to him. And, it was just kind of a gee whiz kind of moment there. Just powerful stuff. And just, these are the two Stevie Wonder albums. They're the most important Stevie Wonder albums to me. These are the two that I needed to have back. And if I only need two, it's these two. So I'm really happy to have that. Then here's two Mark I asked for. It's just Steve Miller. These two Steve Miller Band albums were just incredible. I remember hearing these. The very first thing, and let's see here. It's really hard to read this frickin'. It's not written very good. The intro on here, it dealt with a synthesizer. We were visiting my grandma in Chicago, and we're in a mall. You come from a town of 2,000 people. Now you're in Chicago in a mall. Wow. And we went by a record store. It might have been a Music Land. An intro for this album came on. It was all that synthesizer. I'd never heard that. And I had my little brother and said, stop, listen to this. Now, I'm the only one really into music. He goes, wow. I mean, it blew him away. We've never heard anything like the synthesizer that he was using. And this just became, you know, I didn't have enough money to buy that album, but it was something I had to have. These two albums were my teenage years. Like these other ones, this is my teenage years. Steve Miller Band has other albums that everyone will say is the best. You got to have the 60s, and I had all of those. But to bring back into my collection, these are the two that make me smile. These are the two that I love to play. These are the two that bring back the memories, happy memories of, you know, the summer days and just incredible stuff. Just beautiful, beautiful music. So excited to have those. He also, two of the ZZ Tops. We got Tejas, and we have here, gee, with El Loco. El Loco was like the second album. Through Columbia House, I got Fandango. This album here, I believe it came out in 81. And I remember I was driving. I just got my job, graduated from college. I just got my job. I was in Kansas City, and I'm driving to work. And I'm going through the richest part of Kansas City to get to the poorest part of Kansas City to start work. And on the radio came, "She wore a pearl necklace. She wore a pearl necklace." And I go, wow. It blew me away. And when I got my paycheck, I went out and bought El Loco. Had to have it. Early ZZ Top, I'm just a huge fan of. It's great blues rock. It's just, they were so good at what they did. And just some of the most enjoyable music. This is just a group that I am total, you know, big fans of. You know, really, when the Eliminator came, I didn't like when they did synths. I like Steve Miller's synths, but that's because that's what I knew of Steve Miller. These guys, I knew the boogie blues rock. And so this was like my last great ZZ Top album. Really happy to have that. Another one, and I didn't get this till years ago, but it was this one that Mark sent me. And I just asked if he happened to have a copy of it. Love the One You're With is on here. And that was in college. You would hear that. You know, when I got to college, I got FM radio. We had FM radio stations now, whereas I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. And Love the One You're With was very popular. They played it all the time. And I just found it so catchy, but I'd never... That's Stephen Stills. I didn't think about that. I just liked the song. And, you know, then a few years ago, you know, I bought this. You know, one of those, you know, bargain bin type albums. Well, Mark gave me this beautiful copy of it. Great to have it back, because this is a great album. I mean, really, Stephen Stills, his first album, he just came out swinging with this sucker. And those first few albums of him, and then he went to Manassas, were awesome. So really happy to have that back. At Radio Wasteland, I was there, and he had this. I just picked it up. The Sugar Cubes. Wonderful album. Mine's was an orange one. He had the green. Birthdays on here. This Bjork's group, of course. You know, just this quirkiness that's coming out of Iceland. You know, Iceland's just such a it is a quirky place. Place I'd really, really like to visit sometime. But Life's Too Good is the name of the album. And just a great album. This is just wonderful, fun music. You know, nothing too serious going on here, but it's the beginning of Bjork as she starts to blossom. I brought this in as I saw it online, and it's actually a it's multicolored. I did have the original, but didn't have the the cover. So I needed a cover. You had to pay a lot to get that cover, but this is the first, one of the first albums from First Aid Kit. I think it is the first one, The Lion's Roar. And this one has Emmylou. Emmylou, if you've never heard that, please pull up First Aid Kit and then key in Emmylou and listen to that song. It's beautiful. Two sisters from Sweden. Acoustic guitar, they play the electric. Their voices blend. It's beautiful harmonies. It's like angelic. It is so nice. I'm such a fan of this group, and this album was just incredibly good. And you know, I saved the vinyl from it because I love this group so much, but now I have a more expensive album cover for it, but that's fine. I'm really, really happy. Then another album I needed the album cover for is Bookends from Simon and Garfunkel. It's probably my favorite Simon and Garfunkel one. The reason why I needed this is that's the original mono. This one's very rare. Problem is, that does say stereo. I get it. It does say stereo, so it's not like the same thing. But it's better than just having a white cardstock thing, right? So the album itself is really inexpensive. Now I have their faces on here. Listen to mono while it says stereo. That's confusing as hell, but I do have the stereo album in here. But, you know, for those of you that know about that, you know, to find a mono cover, you know, good luck. It's very, very rare. But happy to get at least that cover. Another cover. Again, these covers, I'm having to buy the albums. And people have helped me with covers. And, you know, I just haven't, I should pursue it more. But this is the new low that just came out. This is it's orange. The orange low to go with my original low that I had from Bowie. I had a very nice selection of Bowie vinyl, and I saved most of the vinyl. So now it's just finding albums this way, and or if I can find just the jackets. But generally you just find people selling the album itself with no jacket, which is where I'm at. So you know, that period of his where he did his Berlin period and had these kind of different, really dark albums. That baby's dark. We move into Nefrati. Just another great album. Super happy to have this. I bought this from someone. Just anytime I can buy a Miles Davis, to bring a Miles Davis back into my group. It's part of his mid-60s music. He was just putting out some really fantastic type stuff out there. Had such a great band with him. And so excited to have that. And the final two I brought back. And I did not, one of them I did save the vinyl. The other one I did not, but Galaxy 500. I'm a huge fan of the group Luna, Dean Wareham. This was Dean Wareham's first group. Very much, there's some shoegaze elements, you could say a little psych, but you can hear other stuff. Really, really good stuff. So that's what I got. That's my workflow, and I need to see who needs what on here, but thank you for hanging out with me. Bye.